You're listening to BYU-Idaho Radio. I'm Nathan Lenahan, and today I'm joined by Thomas Scott. He's the chairman for the Rexburg Barbershop Festival. Thomas, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So before we get into the upcoming Rexburg Barbershop Festival, I was just wondering if we could learn a little bit about yourself. You could give us some background on who you are and how you got involved in this.
Well, fantastic. I appreciate that. So again, I'm Thomas Scott. I have been a part of the Barbershop Festival since 2009. That was the first time I was involved in it. That was when I was a student here, and they were doing the Barbershop Festival both as a community event and on campus. And they've since discontinued the campus portion of the event, but we decided to continue it as a community show involving all of the different high schools and continuing that leg of the Barbershop Festival. I myself used to sing. I sang competitively with the Barbershop Harmony Society that's based out of Nashville. And so I was part of a chorus that was in Phoenix, and we would go and perform as an international competitor and sing as a chorus. And when I came up here to school in 2009, decided to come and do the festival, it struck me very hard. It really changed the way that I saw music. And I've been a musician for many years, 30 plus years. I've been a musician, 20 plus years as a stage actor, and then 10 plus years as an event host and MC with my company, Idaho MC. And I wanted to make sure that the Barbershop Festival didn't finish, that there didn't die off with kind of the times, because it really modified the way that I viewed music. The Rexburg Barbershop Festival began in the late 90s, and I believe this is our 27th year that we have been doing this. This is the longest private barbershop festival that has existed in the history of the Barbershop Harmony Society. We are known all throughout the United States and the world. Quartets really love coming and performing here because the energy is big, the audience is wonderful, and so I took over as chairman when the previous chairman, Cecil Ricks, passed away during the COVID break that we made during, obviously, COVID. We had performances up until right at 2020. We had that break. We missed 1 year, came back in, and I picked up the torch after the unexpected passing of Cecil Ricks. And then before Cecil was Phil Ricks, and he was the one that started this in the late 90s. So this has been happening for over a quarter of a century, and I felt the need to put it on my shoulders and continue to carry it to make sure that really the harmony keeps ringing.
Could you tell us a bit about the event specifically and how it worked, just what to expect?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So this event, the way that it's structured this weekend is there are 2 nights. On Friday, we are busing in from just short of 10 schools. I think it's 9 schools this year that range everywhere from Dillon, Montana down to Idaho Falls, Driggs, Rigby, here with Sugar and Madison. And we bring all of these students, it's about 250 students total. We bring them all to the Madison Performing Arts Center. And we will do a day-long clinician. We have flown in some of the top clinicians in the world that come in each year. This year we've got Darren Drown, who him and his quartet won internationals about 10 years ago. And then we have got Kim Newcomb, who comes every year, and she won as an international champion about 5 years ago. And so we have these 2 incredible clinicians. They come in, they visit with schools on Friday starting at 10 a.m. We bus everybody in. We have an incredible day of learning. We teach these massive choruses, and some of these are coming from schools that they have 6, 8, 10 people in their chorus. They're very small schools, so they have this incredible opportunity to sing with larger schools like Hillcrest and Bonneville and Madison and Rigby. And so they all come together. We train, we work together. We have a headliner quartet. They are called Sunday Night Social. They are the #1 quartet in the Intermountain West. So they won last year, beat everyone else out. They're based out of Denver, is where we're flying them in from. And they placed 6th in the world last year in the international competition. So incredible group that we are flying in to bring really a world-class talent for these students. After all of that work, they get a Q&A with the group, Sunday Night Social. Sunday Night Social will work with a handful of these student quartets so that they can feel like they get the coaching they need. And then at 7 o'clock at the Madison Performing Arts Center here in Rexburg, we have a show that showcases all of the high school quartets. There is a faculty quartet and this Sunday Night Social that is going to come and do their big numbers for the students. And so that's the first half of the festival. And there's more. Yeah. On Saturday, we have our community show. And that's the one we'd love to have everyone come out to. Showcases a few more of our local groups. But Sunday Night Social will be there. They will be a part of it. They will do their same show again on Saturday. That is 7 o'clock at the Romance Theater here in Rexburg. Obviously limited seating. It's a smaller auditorium, but very intimate setting, very, very fun. Also featuring other local quartets like Luminescence, which is a 4-part women's quartet, the Carousel Chorus, which is the local chapter of the Barbershop Harmony Society of singing barbershop as a chorus, the a cappella chorus of Idaho Falls, which is a women's version of 4-part harmony, and they get to come and sing for us. So that happens on Saturday night. It's about a 90-minute show, and it's really going to blow your mind. Every time that someone goes and sees what people can do with their voices in 4-part harmony, it just gives them a different depth of understanding of what the human voice can do. And you will leave just emotional, in awe of the talent that we have coming in. And so that's the weekend, and then we fly them home on Sunday and take a rest for a year.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on. And so I guess I would ask, this thing has been going on for a while, and you've been a part of it for a decent amount of time. How much have you seen it change in your time when you've been a part of it?
Well, it has changed. As times change, we need to change, and we've had to. So it started out as just a high school festival. And then the university in the early 2000s came on, and it became a joint project where the Friday night was all about the high school students and the Saturday was all about the college students. Post-COVID, we had some changes and rearrangements, as I mentioned, where the school had to take, the BYU-Idaho had to take a step back. And so we basically turned it into a community show on Saturday and a high school show on Friday. And each year it's different. So, for example, last year we had the 2018 World Champions that came here to sing for us. They were called After Hours. They brought a full film crew. We were the showcase of the Association of International Champions, or AIC. And so we had them last year. Big show. It was fantastic. And then this show, we're featuring our regional champions. Still an incredible show, but focusing on, hey, these are people that are just over the mountains in Denver. The other group is based in Idaho Falls, Luminescence, as I mentioned. And next year, we'll see. We may have another world class. We may have 7 different local quartets that come and perform to show that this is something that can be done by really anybody. I joke that those who are formally trained, it's like studying basketball for many, many years and playing through high school and college. And then you play a game of pickup street ball, and it's the same, but it's different. And barbershop is very much a street version of music where many people in the organization don't actually read music. They listen, they learn, they grow, and then they sing. And there are certain barbershop standards that if you put 4 barbershoppers in a room and they can all say, light a rose, and every single one of them will know what their parts are, and you can meet up with barbershoppers from anywhere in the United States and pick up songs that everybody knows and sing on the spot. And I've had the opportunity to do that. I was trained in Nashville as a director for the Barbershop Harmony Society. And it was a convention where all of these barbershoppers came together. And sure enough, we were able to sing together and work together and know the same pieces of music. And it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to know that you can basically do a game of pickup musical basketball with anybody in the organization.
Right. That's interesting how it works that way. Because I'm a musician, but instruments and just singing more, I guess, standard stuff. But barbershop is a different style, something that's not as, I guess, people don't consider it modern anymore. It's an older style, and so it's great that it's still going, and there's still communities built around it and all of that.
I'm really glad you brought up that, because it is a very vintage form of vocal harmony. At least it has started, and it's funny because you mentioned you're a musician. I'm curious, what is it that you are a musician in? What do you do?
I just do I like old classic rock stuff, so still older stuff, but not quite. I guess what I would consider vintage barbershop era of old, because when I think of that, I think of the pinstripes and the straw hats. That's what I think of when I think of barbershop, as someone who doesn't know anything about it.
No, and that is very fair. That is very fair. And you still have groups that have that kind of old vintage vibe where they're singing songs that were written in the the 50s and 60s. Modern barbershop, it's kind of like saying, well, you like the old rock. Does that mean that the new rock isn't rock? And some could argue, but some love modern rock more than they do classic. So modern barbershop takes a lot of kind of current themes and current songs. It's built much more technical than it was in the 1940s. 1940s, you're watching Music Man. Those of you who know the play, right? Yeah. The musical. And they get up and they sing that ice cream song. And it's like, okay, that's barbershop. What's happening now is, well, we just finished the Winter Olympics. Here's a prime example. Figure skating in the 1990s was really fun to watch. We just watched figure skaters do things that no other figure skaters have done in the last 30 or 40 years. They took what was an art that has existed for a long time, and they kind of moved that talent up a notch. Barbershop is the same way. These are a cappella groups that are putting together chords vocally that are so tight and so incredible that it fills an auditorium with overtones. It is doing a level up of sound in the same way that, it was wonderful to watch figure skaters in the 80s and 90s, but we just watched figure skaters doing backflips that we wouldn't have seen, 30 years ago. So it is an advanced version of what you had in the 40s and 50s, and it is an art form that makes a lot of older people, retired people, that are really interested in that. We love performing for Homestead and Temple View and other homes that are in care facilities that are in Idaho Falls. But what we're bringing here is there is some vintage, but Sunday Night Social, the caliber of what they're bringing to the stage is much more advanced than something you would know from the 50s and 60s.
Right.
My generation, the generation just underneath me, loves hearing the change because it becomes a lot more than it was before. And then you have, again, those who are steeped in the vintage. And there's definitely something to be said there that is important in the vintage to say, okay, yes, it is vital for us to keep that same piece in the same way that if you go to a symphony and listen to a Brahms or a Beethoven, it is still emotionally moving. But then you also go to something that's that's more recent, a Rachmaninoff, or even, nowadays you're looking at an Eric Whitacre. It moves you differently because you are taking the same paint colors, but you're painting something differently musically with that.
And so I guess what would you just tell the community, like your last message? What would you want them to know about this or just to really expect from it?
So a few things here that, first, yes, it is a ticketed event. We have tried to make the tickets as low as possible to just cover facility costs. So you can expect, if you want to come see the high school show, that is $6 on Friday night or $10 for the community show on Saturday. And again, all of those proceeds go to, as donations to the Barbershop Festival to pay for facilities, to cover really to cover those expenses. All of the other expenses for the students have all been thanks to incredible sponsors in this area. The Rexburg Barbershop Festival is presented by Volpine Marketing. The owner of Volpine Marketing did this when he went to Bonneville High School and realized how much it changed who he was. And so as he became a local business, influence, he said, we need to keep this going. So he has been an incredible headline sponsor forever and ever since I took over as the chairman. We also have incredible help from Real Estate 270. The folks there have been remarkable. They went to the show last year, 2 years ago, and said, I didn't know this is what it could be, and immediately jumped on and said, we need to make sure this continues to happen. Circle of Love, same thing. Circle of Love, they participated in it when they were in high school. Now that they're business influencers here in the area, they've been able to take care of it. And then other local sponsors like Fresco, Flying S, Title, Sugar Beast has been great, Citizens Community Bank, and the Teton Valley Rotary has sponsored Dregs to come to us. And then, of course, the Rocky Mountain District here as part of the Intermountain West. They gave us a grant this year to make sure that this has happened for the students. So lots of wonderful, wonderful businesses and organizations coming together to ensure that this continues in the years to come and to happen this year. And the number one way that you as a community, that you as students can support what's happening here is just come see us. It is more important to us to ensure that there is an audience to watch, that there are people in seats, so that when we bring these talented musicians, these world-class musicians to see what Rexburg has to offer, they have a full auditorium to sing and perform to. And they go back and say that you are right, Rexburg is the place to perform. So that is the number one thing that at this point right now, anyone who's listening can come and support us by just experiencing what we have put together for you.
Thomas, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all this with us today.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us, and we hope to see you there on Saturday.